Hi, my name's Vivienne and I'm an International Projects Manager for the Blue Marine Foundation. My first memorable experience of the ocean was actually when I was a bit older, when I was about 19. And I was in Australia and I was diving on the Great Barrier Reef getting my PADI certificate. I'll never forget the first time I put my head underwater and saw a coral reef. You know, I saw colours and shapes and textures and things that I'd never seen before in my life, and I didn't know what they were, and I really wanted to know what they were. And I think from then on I was completely hooked. My job is extremely varied. No 2 days are the same, and that's one of the reasons I love it. As a project manager, I deal with a range of stakeholders, whether that's fishermen, communities, funders, people in the private sector, school children, governments, and it will be on a range of issues ranging from science to policy to legal work to media and communications. And so one day I can be writing a letter to a minister, the next day I could be doing a social media campaign, and the next day I could be doing a survey of seagrasses or mangroves or out on a reef. And that's what keeps it interesting, and that's why I love it. So I actually grew up in London, which most people find surprising, but my parents are from South Africa, and I was very lucky that we had a house in the African bush where I spent a lot of my childhood. And I remember sort of, my happiest memories there where we would go on game drives and go out and see African wildlife, and I would come back home and flick through species ID guides trying to identify what I'd seen, and I think those early memories are really what led me to have such a love for the natural world and pursue the career that I have. I love people who are very good at telling the story and getting people excited about the ocean, because I think that's so important. There's a network of young people on Instagram who not only work on ocean conservation issues, but they communicate wildlife in such a creative and engaging way, and often use humour and really novel ways of doing this. And I can think of a few off the top of my head. Hannah Stiffel and Lucy Lapwing are a few from the UK, and I just think they're brilliant and I love them. And also my Professor Callum Roberts and his wife Dr. Julie Hawkins, they run a master's programme in the UK that trains young marine biologists, and they're creating the next generation of people who are in this field, so they both continue to inspire me. If I could change one thing about the environment, is I would like to see the expansion of marine protected areas. At the moment less than 3% of our oceans are fully protected, and when I say fully protected that means there's no human extraction in these areas. We have national parks on sea, like in Africa, where people can go and watch this wildlife and enjoy it, and that's exactly what we need in the oceans. The idea that we can continue to exploit the oceans in the way that we are and not have these safe havens for wildlife, for them to breed and grow is not realistic. So I would like to see 30% of our oceans protected by 2030, which is what the science says is needed. I guess I would like to be a part of achieving that goal. I would like to say that I have been part of an initiative or a team that is working to create marine protected areas, and that's what I love about being part of the Blue Marine Foundation. I have a fantastic team in the Maldives that I've been working with for a long time, from different organisations and the private sector, and we've been working on an atoll called Lamu in the south, and I'm hoping that we will see the creation of new protected areas announced later this year. And that would be, for me, a really proud moment.